like I said, some examples to share. The very first one I'd like to talk about is the concept of positive thinking and open-minded thinking, which is sometimes tough to do. One of the things we always say we're going to do is say yes first, then figure it out. Now, everybody doesn't always say that. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't know if we can pull that off. But we actually do believe you can say yes first and then figure it out. Now, that is scary, but it can also be, we think, exciting. And we've seen a lot of success doing that. The other kind of concept that we always think about is fake it till you make it. So I'm sure you guys have done this. I mean, you play the part, you dress the part, you sell the part, and then figure it out as you go. And, you know, usually when you wing it, it does end up working out the right way. Now,
do you guys believe we're actually not really guest speakers?
We're actually not public speakers at all. We have no idea how we got here. It's weird.
Sure it is. We'll totally come be guest speakers.
Right, that'll work out. 30 minutes, we're good. We're good.
We'll totally bring business cards and everything.
And be important businesswomen. Okay, so anyway, you guys get the point. But it's hard to do that because, I mean, it's easy to get resistant to change, resistant to a brand new idea, or we all get very comfortable, and as women, we have our routines that make the world go round, and we're balancing all those balls in the air. So it's hard when you're feeling that resistance. But we encourage open-minded thinking. Now, and the fake it till you make it concept. Now, I have an example of this and how something sort of little became something big for me. I previously worked, I ran a website. I was hired by Channel 13, even though I didn't know it was Channel 13 at the time, to be a website manager for a website called momslikeme.com. Don't know if you guys remember seeing those advertisements on Channel 13. So I hired in as a marketing person, as a website manager, which was great, and I was coming along, and then all of a sudden I realized that Channel 13 was this TV station that offered this community show, Take 5 and Company. And my boss came to me and said, I don't know if this is your thing, but they really want to talk about whatever the hot thing is the moms are talking about this week. Do you mind going on and doing this 4-minute schmeal? And I was like, okay, I guess I can do it. I don't know public speaking in my day. So I went ahead and did it, and it went great. In fact, I actually loved it. I thought it was really fun. I was scared to death, but I faked it till I made it. And it actually ended up being great. So then my monthly bit became a bi-weekly bit, which became a weekly bit, which became, hey, if Stephanie or Catherine are ever sick, do you mind coming on and being a host? And then it ended up becoming a regular thing for me. And in the end, I've had more opportunities with the television component, which I was never really trained on formally, than I did with the website. So that was a really fun example of kind of taking a chance and saying, sure, yeah, I'll do that. And it actually worked out. As you guys heard, I'll tell a little story later about how I ended up on The View. So fun little story. And then another thing we want to make a point of saying is that even if you say yes to something and it doesn't quite work out the way you wanted it, at least you can say you had the experience. I mean, life is not a box of chocolates. Who said that for us? And, you know, I don't know. I'm making stuff up. No, I'm just kidding. But it's not a fairy tale. But what are your choices? To sit around in it? To feel bad? I mean, of course, we all get to have our moments. But we just encourage you guys to incorporate laughter, have fun, say yes. When things aren't going so great, try to be open-minded. And so this concept of positive and open-minded thinking are one that Leslie and I really believe in. Hey, Leslie, you got another point?
I do. I've got a point. It just puts it back out into the universe, and I feel like it comes back in tenfold when you're not as focused on the negative as in the positive. And because Sarah is such a professional, important businesswoman today, I'm going to let her talk to you guys a little bit about having fun and laughter in your daily life and in the workplace.
Thanks, Leslie. Amazing example.
You're welcome.
So here we are talking about how it's fun to be all positive and swell and saying yes and being gracious for everything and all that swell and good. Another component that we do want to talk about, though, that leads into it is the concept of figuring out what you were really put on this earth to do. Now, Oprah talks about it. Wait, did we bring the Oprah No, we didn't. All right, so I got to keep going. Okay, so Oprah's done that. You know, a lot of people talk about this stuff, but it is true. Basically, there's two schools of thought. There's, for most people, what you do to earn a living, because obviously we all need to. And then there's that thing that excites you and brings you passion. Now, if you can combine the both, that's wonderful. If you've already done that. For other people, it's a little bit trickier to do. But we believe you can figure out how to combine both. A neat quote that we were reading when we were preparing this presentation is, never give up on anything you can't go a day without thinking about. You guys have probably heard that before, but it is so true.
I got it on Pinterest. I'm not going to lie. I saw it.
She saw it on Pinterest. So, but, you know, there's roadblocks, and these are very legit roadblocks. Kids and husbands and having to go back to school and the current job you have or aging parents and all these things that can come your way. We're big believers in baby steps. It can just be a baby step. Like Leslie gave the example of her girlfriend saying, oh, you're so funny, you should write a blog. And then the blog has now become, hopefully and potentially, a book. I have an example of that. I was a marketing girl, which I enjoyed doing.
Can you tell the story about the View?
Yeah, I think I know. So I was a marketing girl in my previous life, and I stayed home and had kids for a couple years, and I dabbled with comedy in Chicago and whatnot. And one year they were doing a community showcase thing at Laugh Fest, and I thought, well, I can do 4 minutes of that. So I did it, and my husband put it on YouTube, whatever. It's kind of silly, but kind of fun, right? So years later, my girlfriend calls me and says, so I'm watching The View, and they're doing this contest called, you know, so you think you're funny. And I just thought of you. I think it would be so great. And your kind of stuff would be so great for the people who watch The View. So I was like, I told her I would do it, but I secretly waited a few days. And then one night when no one was home, I was like, all right, I'll send this link to, you know, my Laugh Fest from 2009. I didn't even follow the rules you're supposed to follow. I think it was supposed to be like 1 minute, and mine was like 9 minutes. And I was like, here you go. So I could tell her later, I tried out for it, whatever. Well, now 4 days later, I got a call from a producer at The View and said, we love you. You've been chosen. You're one of 5. You're going to be our Tuesday person. They flew me out to New York.
Whisked. I think they whisked.
Oh, they whisked me. They whisked me out to New York, and I got this free trip, and it was so fun. And I met Barbara Wawa, and Justin Bieber was on that day. It was hilarious. And it ended up
Bieber, you met
the Biebs. Oh yeah. I'm a believer now. So anyway, the point. So it's a baby step. The baby step was one night when I was hanging around, thinking that was kind of a funny thing. I hit send. But you know, you would also say to yourself that it was opportunity. You know, I had stuck my neck out and done Laugh Fest. I had stuck my neck out, you know, and done this and that, and then, you know, sent that video, and then here I am in New York City in front of ABC going, I cannot believe I'm here doing this. This is hilarious. So another example of how it can just be a baby step. And because of that, I'm securing more speaking engagements like this, and it's just been so fun. And you know what? I'm able to make some money doing it and be following my passion. Now I still have to be a mom. I still have to do other things to make money. I still have to, you know, this, that, and take care of my home. But we just want to say, it's all about the being open-minded. You never know where life's going to take you. And we believe that you can do that. You can do that with baby steps. The other huge piece is network, which obviously, preaching to the choir here, we don't need to tell you ladies, you know, with events like this, how important it is. But more than ever is it easy to do. It doesn't always have to be, let's meet for coffee in our suits. You can do social networking, I mean, between LinkedIn and Pinterest and Twitter, if you're twitting. If you're doing any of those things, you could talk to someone from elementary school, grade school, previous employers, people who may know people. We encourage you to get with people who are already doing maybe what you want to do. But it is, you never know where you're going to find a connection. Leslie actually has an example of, as connecting with me, how she has gotten where she is. Leslie, would you care to share that story?
I'll share that story.